you're someone who struggles with having good posture or has pain or tension in your body that you don't know how to get rid of, then I wanted to share something with you that was really very, very powerful for me in my life and helped change a lot of those things for me in a very short period of time, actually. And it did it in a way that completely surprised me. And to spoil the story, it's actually got to do with your eyes. But I'll share my story and then share the way that my eyes and your eyes are related to all of those things. So yeah, your eyes are related to your balance and your movement, and yeah, having good eye movement is really pretty essential for being able to have a body that moves freely. So I'll get into that after my story, but yeah, just wanted to kind of share up front where this is going to go. So in my early 20s, I had a period of time, it was about a year long, where I couldn't walk. And I was a really active person. I practiced martial arts. Most of my life I'd been playing rugby league. I was doing yoga a few times a week. And I woke up one morning and my knee was swollen and my ankle too. And it was really painful to walk on it. And my father had experienced something similar, and his brother too, when they were younger, and they had both been diagnosed as having arthritis. And so I kind of went down this whole path of trying to figure out how to fix that, and it didn't go away by itself. It took a lot of exploration, and eventually I found a modality called Feldenkrais, which is what I trained in. But prior to making that decision to train in it, I went along to see a practitioner, and she asked me as soon as I arrived which eye I was looking out of, and I didn't know. I had no idea which eye I was looking out of. I didn't even think it was a thing. I thought we just look out of both eyes. And by the end of that first session with her, it was about an hour long, I could tell which eye I was looking out of. And I could tell that I was looking out of both of them by the end of the session, and that I had only really been looking out of my right eye prior to that moment. And yeah, 90% of the pain and swelling disappeared just in that first session. And I'm a pretty curious type of guy. I like to understand how things work. I trained as a mechanical engineer, so there's this sort of desire to understand how the world works in me. So one of the things I did was sign up for a professional training program in Feldenkrais, and because I wanted to learn out how that worked, how the hell did I walk in with pain and swelling, and then have some adjustments done to the way that I use my eyes, and then how did I walk out with so much better feeling in my body? That was a mystery to me at the time. It makes a lot more sense to me now, and that's actually part of what I wanted to share with you. And so, just to give a bit more context, I currently work with people who chronic pain or stiffness or tightness somewhere in their body, or people who just want to improve the way that they move. So I use what I learned in my Feldenkrais training and other things I've explored throughout my life to help support people do that. And one of the things that I'm really, really curious about at the moment is eyes and how they influence balance and how that kind of flows through the rest of my body. So I'll share a little bit about what I know and what I've been playing with. So your movement's controlled by your nervous system. That's kind of a fundamental thing. And your nervous system is trying to keep you alive. It's trying to keep you mobile in this three-dimensional world. And it wants you to be able to walk around and do what you need to do. And since there is gravity here, and you're a human, you need to be able to orient your head to the horizon. And this is what allows you to stay upright and balanced and do all of the things you need to do. And if you have like for me, I had a really strong right eye dominance, and I still do. If you have a strong eye dominance on one side, your nervous system will organize the whole rest of your skeleton and your musculature around that eye. So it will, instead of keeping my eyes level on the horizon like this, for me what happens is there's a slight tilt in my neck, and this eye becomes the way that I orient myself to the world. And I stack up my skeleton underneath that eye in order to operate. And I don't know the full story of why that is so prominent for me. I have some theories, and yeah, there's, for one thing, I played rugby league when I was younger, and there was lots of injuries that I had during that time. I had an experience in my life of being punched in the face quite hard, and that I now know that would have changed the way that I hold my head. What was the other thing? Yeah, there's it's very much linked to how you pay attention to the world as well. So the right, your dominant eye is more of a, let's say, strategic eye, and the non-dominant eye is more of a relational eye. And there's a whole lot behind that, but I've definitely oriented my way or navigated my way through life in a more strategic, maybe left-minded, left-brain way of operating. And it's been, as I've kind of learned more about this eye and just matured as a human, I've learned how bringing that other side of my life into the picture is really important, and I can notice how it changes the use of both of my eyes, and it makes my posture better. So actually having really relational way of being, connecting with humans and being present and soft and open with other people actually changes my posture, which may be surprising to hear, but it's true. So I'm kind of just sort of spouting a few things that I know and that I'm exploring right now. But yeah, so if you have a strong eye dominance and your skeleton will, your nervous system will organize your skeleton to balance underneath that. And it's, we kind of, maybe you've heard like that our skeleton is stacked from the bottom up. It's like we have feet, and then there's leg bones, and then there's a pelvis and a spine, and then shoulder girdle, and neck and head. And that's kind of a bottom up way of looking at our body. It's maybe a more of a like how you would build a structure. You lay your foundations, and then you put up your walls, and you put your roof on top of that. But it's actually the opposite way when you think of a human body, which is organic and intelligent. As I said before, the purpose of the nervous system, one of the purposes is to keep us alive and help us move around. So it needs to optimize for balance. And the way that it does that is by balancing this head on top of the neck and the spine and all the rest. And it's almost like these things are really the leaders. We orient those to the best of our ability to the horizon, and everything else follows. So when we have a lot of clarity around the way that we use our eyes, then everything else can reorganize around that. And so for me, having a really strong right eye dominance, what's really helped a lot is training my left eye, my other eye, my non-dominant eye, to be more available, to practice using it in ways that I wouldn't normally. So I might cover my dominant eye, and I do this sometimes. I cover my dominant eye, so the other one gets to practice what it's like to just be the leader of my world for a little while, and then when I come back, it's like, it feels like there's this whole other part of me which is woken up. My body feels softer. I feel more connected. There's a lot more ease. So that's just one really simple way of of practicing using the non-dominant eye. There's also a lot of other lessons, so like Feldenkrais lessons, that I teach and I practice on myself, and they really have a very profound impact on the way that our bodies operate. I mean, and to me, this is it actually blows apart so many ways of looking at the body that I've ever seen before, and what to do about it, what to do about problems that happen in the body. I think that balance is very fundamental. As I said, it's one of the primary things that our nervous system is organizing for us. And so if we don't quite have really good awareness around the eyes and how to use them, then everything else suffers. It's like it's deep, and it's very it has so many flow-on effects. And so, I mentioned some things that happened earlier on in my life. Punched in the face. I fell out of a trolley once when I was a kid and landed on my head. That may have impacted some of these things. And if I had damaged my neck temporarily and started holding my head to the side, that then starts to become the new normal, and that may also have influenced which eye makes the most sense to look out of, or lean into the world with. So it's kind of like this it's a two-way street. It's not like the eyes, it's not like because it was dominant, it made everything else this way. But it could also have been the other way. It's like maybe something happened and moved me that way, and then it made it easier for me to use that eye. You can't really tell, but that's not important. I'm just sort of sharing that those are some of the factors that do play into it. I think the important part is to become aware of how you do currently use your eyes, and then start to experiment with what it's like if you use your eyes in different ways, and you bring your non-dominant eye more into the picture, and you train easier use of your eyes, because most people will have parts of their eye movement which are really there's like a lot of inefficiencies in it. So there might be, so if you track your eye slowly across the wall, you might find that there's parts of the movement where your eye jumps all of a sudden because it doesn't really know how to move through a particular portion of that movement easily. And there might be places where it quivers, and maybe places where you hold your breath, and if you can, there's lots of ways to practice. You can actually draw circles, and you'll find the places where the circle isn't really a circle, goes into a wobbly shape or a straight line or something like that. And yeah, these are just some ways of testing and improving the way that you use your eyes. But that's really what the most important part is. So as you practice some of those things, you will get more information, and you'll get very, very quick feedback as to whether this is going to make a big difference for you. Because maybe you're someone who already has great movements of your eyes, but if you're not, and you do just even a little bit, you're going to notice differences. With the caveat that you are actually practicing in a way that that is soft and gentle and doesn't override or push anything that your nervous system doesn't really want to adopt yet. And I can do more videos on that, but for now I just wanted to share that overall concept that working with eyes is profound, and it has been for me, and I've seen it work for other people as well. And yeah, I'd be curious to know, like, if this resonates for you, whether you'd be interested in learning more about this. I'd be happy to share. And yeah, just leave me a comment in the comment box, and I'll get back to you. But for now, that's all I've got, and yeah, I'm excited to share things that can really sort of reframe how we think about our bodies, and help us get much more potent results from the efforts that we put into our bodies. Yeah, I think we don't need to waste so much time and effort. We can put our energy to good use and get really good results from it. So yeah, that's what I'm passionate about. That's all from me.